I met him in the pickup line, the way suburban trouble usually starts. Between minivans and a traffic cone. His name was Adrian. He had a 6-year-old in Mrs. Park's class, same as our daughter, Isla. We traded eye rolls about fundraiser emails and laughed about Spirit Week. It was harmless because I said it was. The first message was a meme about field day snacks. The 10th was a selfie of my coffee at 11:47 p.m. with, "Still awake?" The 50th was a paragraph I don't like to reread, where I typed out the sentence I should have saved for a therapist. Sometimes I feel invisible in my own house. My husband, Vic, didn't catch me because he searched. He caught me because the iPad on our kitchen counter kept us all signed into the same cloud. I was answering Isla's teacher about pajama day when a banner slid down. Adrian's name, a preview I will not repeat, and a photo that was not pornographic but not the kind of thing you send a man who isn't your husband. Vic was behind me, rinsing a pan. The splash of water changed. He didn't say my name. He just dried his hands and set the dish towel down like you put a period at the end of a sentence. "Whose number is that?" he asked quietly. "A friend from school," I said. Then, because lying felt like choking, "Adrian. Luca's dad." Vic scrolled without asking for my passcode, because the iPad didn't need one. He didn't fling it or raise his voice. He read 3 screens, set it face down, and said, "Okay." That okay ended a world. For context people ask for later, Vic is a data analyst who lives and dies by timelines. He wears a badge to work some days, federal contract stuff, and stacks our life in labeled folders. Mortgage, insurance, pediatrician, 529 plan. He's the one who adds the teacher workdays to the family calendar and the one who remembers to buy poster board when an assignment sneaks up at 10 p.m. He is not dramatic. He's not vengeful. He turns hurt into logistics. I have a DC. Rotation starting next week, he said that night at the table, voice even. They offered it last month. I hadn't decided. I'm taking it. I'll be 3 metro stops from the office. I've already looked at short-term rentals. He paused. I'm also calling a family lawyer tomorrow. You'll be served, I won't do ambushes. You're leaving? I said, like I hadn't been texting a man about being lonely married. I'm choosing not to live in the middle of your rationalizations, he said. I'm not changing locks. I'm not posting screenshots. But I'm also not going to sit here while you call this harmless. I cried and said the lines women say when they've played with matches and see the smoke. It wasn't physical, I was just venting, I didn't mean for it to escalate, I was going to stop. He nodded like he heard the words and put them where they belonged. Next to the evidence that my midnight felt alive when his daylight felt ordinary. The papers arrived 5 days later by a man who could have been a plumber if not for the envelope. Private process server, polite, verified my name, handed the packet over, left. The caption looked like a mail merge. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Under our county's seal. A standing domestic relations order was stapled on top like a parent note. Neither party may move the child's school, disparage the other, drain accounts beyond ordinary bills, change insurance, or hide the child from the other parent while the case is pending. I read it twice because it felt like Vic had found a judge who was already on his side. The petition didn't accuse me of adultery. We live in a no-fault state. You don't get a trophy for naming sins. It just alleged irretrievable breakdown and asked for joint legal custody, a 2-2-5-5 schedule, exchanges at school, a prohibition on introducing romantic partners overnight when the child is present, and a mutual no disparagement clause, including on social media and within school communications. It included an exhibit that made me dizzy, a printout of call logs and text counts. Not the contents, just the numbers. Showing a hockey stick chart from 0 to constant over 3 weeks. Vic texted me the same afternoon, I'll stay at my brother's this week, then move into the DC. Rental Monday. I'll do school pickup M/W/F this week, you do 2/TH. Read the standing order. Please don't email the school about any restrictions. They'll have to treat us equally unless a court says otherwise. The tone wasn't cold. It was adult. I hated it. I did the thing that felt powerful and reasonable in the same moment. I messaged Islah's teacher through the class app. For safety reasons, please don't release Islah to anyone but me while we work through some family issues. Mrs. Park replied, professionally, copying the principal, we will follow the court's standing order and our custody documentation. Until a court limits a parent, both of you have equal pickup rights. Please keep exchanges civil. And off this app. I had the humiliating urge to apologize to the app. I tried to fix the story in softer rooms. Group chat, he's overreacting to some flirty texts. We're separated now because he needs space in DC. My sister, who has a graduate degree in common sense, typed back, he's not in DC. Because he's dramatic. He's in DC. Because you gave him a spreadsheet of reasons to leave. The Guardian ad litem? Janine, Flats, legal pad? Visited our house 2 weeks later because Vic's lawyer suggested one to keep this from becoming a he said/she said through the school. Janine asked for a tour, looked in the fridge, watched me do bedtime. She scheduled a second visit at Vic's rental on his night, where she watched him measure Tylenol without squinting at the label and lay out the next day's outfit on the chair. She asked me about Adrian. I said, nothing physical. She wrote something down. She asked Vic what he wanted. He said, simply, for our daughter to have both her parents without being a rope in a tug-of-war. The interim hearing was fluorescent and fast. The judge had a calendar that looked like a Tetris board. Our case took 12 minutes. Carla, my lawyer, asked for temporary primary custody for stability. David, his lawyer, handed up a one-page parenting plan with color blocks and said, they already live this. Exchanges at school, alternating weekends, daily FaceTime at 7:30 p.m. The standing order will cover the rest. No disparagement, no overnight romantic guests during parenting time, and a directive to keep school communications strictly child-related. The judge signed it without sermonizing. He added one line with his pen, parents shall not use school staff or PTA channels to litigate. I felt seen and not in a good way. That afternoon, I did a stupider thing than the school message. I texted Adrian, he filed. I'm drowning. I need a friend. He wrote back, my wife read everything. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Please don't contact me. For the first time in weeks, I thought about the person on the other side of the messages who didn't sign up to be my plot device. I put my phone in a drawer and cried into a hand towel because all the tissues were in Islah's art bin. Vic never sent Adrian's wife the screenshots. He didn't need collateral. Reality had its own gravity. He did email me a link to a parenting class the court encourages. The tone of his message gutted me. I'm taking the 2-hour online one this weekend. It's dull but useful. If you take it, send the certificate to both lawyers. Fewer hearings keeps costs down. I hated that he still thought about costs when he should have been slashing tires in a music video version of our life. When our temp schedule started, Vic moved into a one-bedroom near DuPont with a futon and 3 plants that all look like the same plant. He set up a little Islah corner with crayons, 2 books she likes, and a photo of the 3 of us at the apple orchard. He didn't post a tour. He texted me a photo of her asleep on his chest and added, she asked for the unicorn blanket tomorrow. Can you pack it? It is obscene how much you can regret a sentence while packing a unicorn blanket into a backpack with a granola bar. I tried to win in the margins again. I emailed the pediatrician to remove him as a primary contact because we're separated and I'm the mother. The office manager replied, CCANG both of us. With a copy of the standing order, we cannot restrict a legal parent's access absent a court order. A week later, at a status conference, David produced my email as an exhibit and requested a gentle admonition. The judge looked at me over his glasses and said, "Miss Rao, read my order again. Stop asking third parties to referee your conflict." I nodded like a chastened 8th grader. Money got boring quickly. Our incomes are similar. Child support with a 50-50 schedule came out to zero. We each pay our own rent. We split the aftercare bill, the pediatric copays, the extracurriculars. We opened a shared card for only Isla costs because our lawyers have learned to respect the sanity of itemized statements that don't include Sephora. Vic made a spreadsheet with checkboxes. I checked the boxes. It kept us from turning soccer cleats into a morality play. Once, in a moment of lonely bravado, I drafted a Facebook post about emotional affairs and how women are driven to them. I didn't post it. I could feel Vic's invisible line, no disparagement, no recruiting an audience. I closed the app and texted my therapist a screenshot instead. Janine's report landed in month 3. It read like medicine, no villain, no hero, a prescription for the child. Both parents are bonded and competent. Father demonstrates high organization and follow-through, mother demonstrates warmth and responsiveness. Mother acknowledges boundary issues with school communications and third parties, recommends continued therapy. Joint legal decision-making, 2-2-5-5 schedule, exchanges at school, no disparagement. Parents to coordinate via shared app, keep romantic partners away from child overnight for 6 months, reevaluate next summer. The judge adopted it. There was nothing to clap for. There was also nothing to fight. I thought Vic might gloat when the decree finally came. An email from the clerk with final judgment in the subject line like a bad joke. He didn't. He forwarded it with, "For your records," added in parentheses that he'd update the school with our new addresses, and reminded me Isla's spring concert was Thursday. "We can both go, I'll sit on the left. That small choreography will be our life now, left/right, mine/yours, Tuesday/Wednesday, 100 decisions that are not about punishment, just rhythm." He won, if you need that word. Not because he got the house, we were renters. Not because he took our child, he didn't, we share. He won because he refused to perform. He did not threaten to tell Adrian's wife, he didn't screenshot me into a cautionary tale, he didn't argue with me in the comments. He moved to DC, did his job, hired a boring, good lawyer, asked for a plan the court could sign, and followed it. He kept the story small enough that our daughter can grow in it. I lost the thing I was pretending I didn't care about. Being the person he told the good parts of his day to. I kept the things courts make you keep. Rights and duties and drop-off times. I'm learning to sit in a row of tiny chairs with other parents and clap at a first-grade recorder concert without flinching when he laughs at the same squeaky note I do. I am learning to let a 7:30 p.m. FaceTime happen even when I want to talk longer, because it is his night and my wanting doesn't change clocks. Sometimes I see Adrian at pickup. He looks smaller now, like someone turned the saturation down. His wife wears sunglasses even on cloudy days. We nod like coworkers who share a printer and nothing else. I don't message him. I don't even think sentences at him. I keep my eyes on Isla, who comes out in a line of tiny humans, holding her backpack in front of her like treasure. When friends ask what happened, I say, I texted a dad from school until the texts were a second life. Vic found them. He didn't scream. He moved to DC, hired a lawyer, and served me. He asked the court for order so our daughter wouldn't become an exhibit. He got exactly that, order. The rest is mine to fix with a therapist, a phone I plug in the kitchen at 10 p.m., and a spine that understands why boundaries have to be boring to work. The night before the decree came, I opened a draft I'd been writing to Vic. 3 pages of apology and nostalgia and bargaining. I deleted it. I sent one line instead, "Thank you for not making me into content." He wrote back, "Thank you for keeping school out of it now. See you at the concert." Left side.